Amanda Burney faced unimaginable horror on September 8, 2010. Born in January 1991 and raised in a loving family in Oklahoma, Amanda's life took a dark turn that day. She had a close relationship with Ethan Walton, her high school sweetheart, and they were excited about their future together. Ethan planned to join the military, and they were saving up for a life after college. That morning, they went to finalize a land sale with Glenn Gowker, a man they trusted. However, Glenn had other plans. When Amanda and Ethan arrived, Glenn's seemingly friendly demeanor quickly turned sinister. He attacked Ethan and bound Amanda, leaving her in a horrifying situation. Despite her fear and pain, Amanda managed to stay alert and seize an opportunity to escape. She freed herself and fled through a window, running barefoot into the night. Amanda found refuge at Carolyn Adams' house, where she bravely shared her story and Carolyn called the police. Glenn and his wife Michelle were soon arrested. The police discovered Ethan's body hidden in a barrel on Glenn's property. Glenn's violent past was uncovered, linking him to other crimes. He received multiple life sentences, and Michelle, though initially sentenced to 20 years, was released on probation in 2017. Amanda, despite her trauma, became a strong advocate for survivors, sharing her story to inspire and support others. Her courage in the face of such adversity is a powerful reminder of the strength that can emerge even from the darkest moments. Ethan and Amanda's plans took a dark turn on September 8 when they went to sell a piece of land to Glenn Gowker. Amanda had borrowed her sister Alicia's car for the trip, and despite feeling uneasy after a troubling nightmare, they pushed ahead with their plans. When they arrived, Glenn was nowhere to be found. Amanda was greeted by Glenn's wife, Michelle, who told them Glenn was out getting the money for the sale. They waited, and when Glenn finally showed up, he seemed friendly and put them at ease despite his delay. What was meant to be a simple transaction quickly became a nightmare. Glenn led Ethan to a shed to finalize the paperwork, leaving Amanda in the car. She fell asleep, only to be jolted awake by Glenn's knock on her window, saying they needed a witness to complete the deal. Unaware of what was about to happen, Amanda followed Glenn to the shed. There, she was horrified to find Ethan unconscious and bleeding. Before she could react, Glenn overpowered Amanda, covering her mouth and putting a gun to her head. He forced her onto a freezer, and despite her desperate pleas for freedom, Glenn removed her clothes and handcuffed her to a pole near Ethan. Amanda's desperate cries were silenced with duct tape as Glenn left her alone for a short while. As she lay there, tied up and terrified, she could hear faint cries from Ethan, which gave her a sliver of hope amidst the horror. Despite the small glimmer of hope, her situation kept getting worse. Back at home, Alicia's worry grew with every passing hour. The couple was overdue, and her repeated calls to Amanda's phone went unanswered. Panic set in as she realized something must be terribly wrong. Determined to find out what happened, Alicia decided to take action. Meanwhile, Glenn returned to the shed where he committed horrific acts against Amanda while Ethan lay badly injured and unconscious. Glenn's cruelty knew no bounds as he took advantage of Amanda's vulnerability. After his monstrous actions, Glenn drove away in Alicia's car, making it look like Amanda and Ethan had left the area. His aim was to throw everyone off track and delay the search for them, all while he continued his heinous acts. When Glenn came back, Amanda saw her chance and struck him, desperately trying to flee. However, her efforts were quickly thwarted by his greater strength. He carried her to his bedroom, where he tied her up to the bedposts. Amanda's hope flickered briefly when Michelle walked in, but it became clear that Michelle was in on the horror. For hours, Michelle came in and out, checking on Amanda, who kept straining against her bonds. Despite the terrifying situation and the slim chance of getting free, Amanda refused to give up. She kept her eyes open for anything that could help her escape. As she pulled at the ropes, her mind raced, looking for a way to use the weapons on the wall to her advantage. The room seemed to close in on her, but Amanda's spirit remained unbroken. As night approached, Alicia's anxiety grew into a gnawing fear, convinced something had gone horribly wrong with her sister and Ethan. Desperate to get answers, she borrowed a car from a friend and drove to Glenn's remote property just after 6 p.m. Her sudden appearance startled Glenn, who briefly panicked before trying to maintain his calm facade. He greeted Alicia with an unsettling calmness and falsely claimed that Ethan and Amanda had left earlier that day, saying they had mentioned plans to buy a BMW in the city. Alicia's doubts were clear. She knew her sister and Ethan wouldn't have recklessly spent their hard-earned money. Deep down, she felt something was amiss. Though she wanted to call the police immediately, she decided to leave first, hoping to piece together the situation on her own. As she drove away, her mind raced with worry and suspicion, unsure of her next move but determined to uncover the truth. Inside the house, Amanda could hear Alicia and Glenn talking, but she stayed silent, terrified that any noise might put her sister in danger. After Alicia left, Glenn panicked, worried that Alicia might come back with the police. He rushed to the shed, where he began the grim task of hiding Ethan's body, who had already died from his injuries. Meanwhile, Amanda noticed that the rope tying her wrists was loosening slightly. With her heart racing, she quietly worked on freeing herself, hoping for the right moment to escape. Once she managed to untie her hands and feet, she looked around for something to help her get away. She found some guns on the wall, but they were all unloaded. However, she did find a knife. When Michelle walked into the room, Amanda seized the chance to act. She lunged at Michelle with the knife, trying to force her to open the door. But despite Amanda's brave attempt, Michelle managed to slam the door shut and lock it, leaving Amanda trapped inside. Panicked and desperate, Amanda knew she had to escape. With adrenaline pumping, she smashed a glass window, climbed through the shards, and bolted into the night. Her heart raced as she sprinted across the fields, hoping the tall grass would shield her from Glenn's pursuit. After what felt like an eternity, she finally spotted a house in the distance. It was Carolyn Adams's home. Bursting through the door, Amanda was overwhelmed with relief as she stumbled into Carolyn's living room. Between gasps for breath, she recounted her terrifying ordeal, how Glenn had attacked her and Ethan and how she had narrowly escaped his clutches. Carolyn, shocked and concerned, acted quickly. She guided Amanda to a safe spot and immediately dialed 911. Outside, the situation grew tense. Amanda and Carolyn heard gunshots ring out, heightening their fear. Carolyn, showing remarkable bravery, quickly hid Amanda in her closet to keep her safe. Then she confronted Glenn, who had returned to search for Amanda. With a firm stand, Carolyn managed to drive him away, buying crucial time. The police arrived on the scene soon after and took Glenn and his wife, Michelle, into custody. Inside Glenn's property, investigators made a grim discovery. Ethan's lifeless body was found in a shed, cruelly stuffed into a barrel with his hands cuffed and ankles taped. The autopsy later revealed that Ethan had died from blunt force trauma. The scene was a stark and tragic reminder of the horrors Amanda had narrowly escaped. The investigation into Glenn Gowker uncovered some truly chilling details. It turned out Glenn had a dark history of criminal behavior, with past charges and links to other unsolved cases. Shockingly, it was revealed that Michelle, who was believed to be Glenn's wife, was actually his half-sister. She later confessed that Glenn had abused and manipulated her for years. Glenn's claim that he acted in self-defense was quickly debunked. Despite his mother's attempts to support him, the evidence against him was overwhelming. The prosecutors decided to avoid seeking the death penalty, opting instead for a plea deal. This deal required Glenn to cooperate in solving other cases. In August 2013, Glenn admitted guilt to all charges, including the 1990 Wisconsin case, and was sentenced to 5 consecutive life terms plus an extra 70 years. Michelle was sentenced to 20 years in prison as an accessory but was surprisingly released on probation in 2017. Despite their attempts to evade justice, the legal system held them accountable for their horrific crimes. Despite battling depression and PTSD, Amanda Burney has become a powerful voice for trauma survivors. Her journey from victim to advocate is both inspiring and heart-wrenching. Amanda shares her story to help others who have faced similar horrors, offering them support and hope. She moved to St. Louis, Missouri, where she found solace and happiness with her new partner, Jamie. In her new life, Amanda holds on to the positive memories she shared with Ethan Walton, her late boyfriend. Ethan, remembered for his infectious laughter, incredible talent, and bright future, had his life tragically cut short. Yet, his legacy lives on through Amanda's strength and resilience. His memory fuels Amanda's dedication to helping other victims find justice and healing. Her journey showcases an extraordinary inner strength and bravery that shines through even in the darkest of times. Amanda's story is a testament to the power of perseverance and hope, proving that even after unimaginable suffering, there can be a path to healing and making a difference in the world. Thank you for joining us in today's powerful story. Amanda Burney's journey from a harrowing ordeal to becoming a beacon of hope for trauma survivors is a testament to the extraordinary strength and resilience within us all. Ethan Walton's memory lives on through Amanda's advocacy and the pursuit of justice for victims. If Amanda's story has touched you, please consider subscribing to our channel for more impactful content and sharing this video to spread awareness. Remember, even in the darkest times, there is always hope and the possibility of a brighter tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.